Hello, and welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, we have this ubiquitous velvet pen pouch, which comes with a number of different pens shipped from China. It's a nice packaging approach, and it has functional use, and it's low cost. So that's, to me, is a win-win. Yeah, it's nice to have leather ones. It's nice to have ornate silk ones. But, you know, at the end of the day, what you want is you want something to put your pen in that might protect it when you throw it in your bag or your briefcase or your pocket. But we digress. The purpose of this is the pen. So we're going to squeeze the pen out. It is held securely in there, and we see what appears to be a black pen. Very, very interesting design. Kind of reminiscent of a large Moonman Wonkai mini pen, which comes in various acrylic versions and also an ebonite version, which is substantially more money. But this is not one of those. This is a bobby pen. Those of you that follow my channel know that I enjoy working with Bobby as a gentleman in China who's working within the environs of China to provide us through eBay interesting writing instruments from that country. And I appreciate his efforts. He provides us with very reasonable costs, very quick shipping. He sometimes includes some gifts in with his shipment of pens to us, and this one was included in the order that I had with my latest Pen BBS pens, the 349 green and the 308 cloud version. So I don't know whether I can pick up the nuances in this, but this is a pen made out of wood. It's primarily a black wood, but there's red veins within the black wood, and this just feels great in the hand. People rave about how black rubber feels, and this feels as good as black rubber. You know, it has that neutral type of a feel to it from a temperature viewpoint, so when you touch it, it feels natural. It's a good size. It's a standard size of most pens, a little bit over 5 inches or about 130 millimeters. And it's nice that it has this very classic, clean design. You know, there's threads at the back end of the barrel here. And those that are familiar with this realize that this cap unscrews. And for those that want to post, this to me is the most classic design for posting because you just screw it back on. You have that incredible clean design. You have a pen that is more than big enough in the hand. The weight is very light. Here's the weights. This section is somewhat on the small side. Here's the dimensions. You have a pretty good step up here to the barrel, so you're kind of limited to holding the pen in that section area, but it feels okay. You know, even posted like this with this long pen, which would fit in anybody's hands, including some giants. It's just nice. When I first looked at this pen and felt it, I was just impressed. It feels good. Would I prefer a little bit larger section? Yes, I would. Maybe about a millimeter larger would be good, but it still fits okay in the hand. It feels good in the hand. As I move the camera about. So we just unscrew the barrel from the section, and we see a standard converter. It's already been inked up. I've flushed this out. I've done all of my normal preparations. The other thing I did was I silicone greased all the threads. It just makes everything work better. To me, you can complain about pens and you can complain about threads, you can complain about this and that, but to me, If you don't like the darkness, light a candle. So do something about it. I mean, these pens are incredibly great values for the amount of money that we part from our pockets into someone else's pockets. And I appreciate the fact that we now can have some incredibly unique writing instruments that we can use. And considering what some pens can cost, and they all have their little challenges to them, because as I've talked about before, these are analog instruments. There are variations amongst these instruments, somewhat lack of consistency. You know, you can pay 10x or 20x the price of this pen and maybe get something that's a little bit better, but we're going to put nib on paper and we're going to see how this writes. I've taken the original nib, I haven't done anything with it, and the nib is completely generic. I mean, we can't get any more generic than that. You know, slit, a breather hole, and what I would call the ubiquitous plastic feed in the back. Looks like the same type of plastic feed that are on some of those pens that cost 10 or 20x more than this pen does. And considering, to me, I buy these pens to write with. I buy these pens because I enjoy them. I buy these pens because I just am enamored with the whole manufacturing, distribution, the global market that we're in. Those are things that excite me, and I enjoy sharing them with my viewers. So enough said with the pen. Here's the eBay auction that is currently running, or at least it may be running at the time you watch this video. If not, be creative in your searches. Some people have trouble finding pens that I discuss in my videos, but you know, I give you the auction that I bought my pen from, and you need to take a look at the description. You could also look for Bobby's website. Here it is. And explore his pens. He's a great seller. I think he's a big supporter of our pen community, and because of his diligence and his ability of tapping into an incredible variety of pens that are made in China, I applaud his efforts and I support his efforts, and I think we all benefit from them. We have some diffuse sunlight coming in, so I thought I'd see if we can pick up that subtle red striping in this wood. It is very subtle. If you look at it on the cross grain, it's pretty well all black. If we open it up and look at the section, we notice a little bit more there. There's some small imperfections, but it is wood, so it's not going to look perfect, but it certainly does have an interesting look to it. And all the threads are very well done. I've coated them with my orange oil. You know, any type of wood wax or wood oil or anything like that would work well on this to help preserve it and also make those threads work smoothly, which they do. So here's some pens to compare Bobby's pen to. He relates it to the Untitled Shepherd shown here, and I did a full review on that. We'll put the link in the description on this video. Then we have a Jinhao 992. I thought I'd throw the red one in for this one. And a Pen BBS 308. And I just include these in for reference. Some of you may have some of these pens. Some of you may have watched videos on these pens. So it's just there for, as I said, reference. You know, the length of this is comparable to the Shepherd, almost identical. The 992 is a little longer, and of course the Pen BBS 308 is the longest of this group. Here are the pens posted, and I'm showing them posted because of the design of the Bobby Wood pen. It's designed to be posted, so as you can see, it's the longest pen by a fair bit of degree from this selection that I've chosen to compare it to. It has also the smallest section. So that's, one of the downsides of this design, I've discussed this a little bit in the past, when you have that nice clean look where the cap and barrel are the same outside dimensions, it's difficult to keep the other dimensions in proportion other than those other pens where you have a cap which is much larger than the barrel. Here we are a little bit close up on the business end. Looks like a number 5 nib, number 5 nib, number 5 nib, number 6 nib. So I try to align the end of the nib, so that's what touches the paper. So you can see where the section is in proportion to the end of the nib, where your fingers might lie. One of the things that the Shepherd pen and the bobby pen share in common is a big step up from the section to the barrel. Whereas here you have your more traditional smooth transition, which you can hold the pen at any angle. To me, the 308 section is about a perfect size from my viewpoint. The 992 is a close second. And the Shepherd is also a pretty good size, but this one's a little bit on the small side, and that's something that you need to keep in mind with this pen, but it's part of the design. The design limits in what a pen maker can do and a pen designer can do to stay true to a design element that they might want to present, but still make it a functional writing instrument. So what ink to put in the pen? I chose this ink. It's a black-green ink, heavily on the black side. I haven't used this ink for a while. And as usual, Noodlers does a great job at the designing of the label. Probably should have done, Black Swan and Australian Rose or English Rose or whatever, because that's a blue-black, which would have matched the pen a little bit, but this is the ink I chose, and as we see as the nib touches paper, it works well. The pen will roll. There's no roll stops on this. It's part of the whole design aspect. I love this clean design, functional design. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you don't have this section tight in the barrel, when you unscrew the cap, sometimes you'll just unscrew the whole thing from the barrel. So it's one of the, again, it's part of the design elements of this pen. I think it fits well in the hand without posting, and this is probably a pen I would not post, but it's nice that you can post it, and it really doesn't change the balance much. As I mentioned, this section, I would prefer it to be slightly bigger, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying this pen. So let's see what the nib will do. I think you can hear this nib just is phenomenal. I'm just very impressed. I have no idea where Bobby sourced this nib from, but it's certainly a very much pleasurable to write with, and as you can see, it lays down a phenomenal patch of ink. So, it's hard for me to really relate how nice this is to write with. It is a little bit soft. It's certainly not something I would flex on a regular basis, but when you put a little bit of pressure on it, it becomes even wetter, if that's possible. So, again, I think this is the first kind of bobby pen I've gotten, and I'm very impressed. So now we come to that all-important rating. So, as you probably can gather from my discussions, I really like this pen. I like the nib. I like the design. I like the way it feels in the hand. So we're going to give it an 8.5. I'm very comfortable with that rating. It's just nice. And again, I enjoy pens that are a little bit different, but still serve the purpose and function of their intended purpose, which is writing. And this one does that very, very well. In addition to providing you with something unique in your hand, and, you know, in certain environments, it could create a discussion amongst your associates and friends who look at that and go, what is that? So that's why we got an 8.5, because it writes well, it looks great, it feels good, and it's made well. So we're at the end of the video. I'm just going to go back and enjoy this pen. So thank you for watching. This nib kind of reminds me of those medium nibs that Bobby sourced for a while that fit into the Wing Sung 698s, which were also a little soft and wet. But the feed didn't keep up. Here the feed really keeps up with this nib. So we've reached the end of this video. Maybe the next one you see might be my 4th anniversary video. I don't know. I need to be motivated. I need to take the content down to a reasonable size, which is one of the challenges when you do kind of a 4-year retrospective, but that'll be my focus. So until the next video, bye for now. May have many great, exciting, stimulating, life-enhancing writing experiences. Enjoy writing, enjoy your day, enjoy your life. Bye.